Good morning, good morning, good morning, sorcerers. It's early here in the state of North Carolina. I figure I'm just going to keep the vibes low key on today's mailbag episode. Uh, I think for these episodes in particular, because I typically do them pretty early in the morning before work, I'll just maybe I'll go with the feel of like what it's like to be in a quiet house, quiet place in the morning, and you're just settling down to look at some sweet sorcery cards that you've gotten in the mail. So on today's episode, a few things that we want to talk about. Get your votes in on June 29th, by June 29th, by June 30th for the Stone of Eternity. I'll post a link to my recent video here. I'm totally going to figure that out. I'm absolutely... it's from an artist who built this incredible set of boards out of leatherworking. People looked at it sometimes on Reddit and thought it was like 3D printed or something. It is not. It's all hand constructed. It's a beautiful set of boards. It'll be shipped from Brazil to Pennsylvania, and you can have your name literally etched into it. And I'll post a much better picture that kind of shows you where the names are on the board, because that was a little unclear before. But this board is going to be seen by thousands of people at Sorcery Con. I know there won't be thousands of players there, but we're going to be in the middle of Valley Forge Casino and Resort in Pennsylvania at Sorcery Con 27. And so it's going to be seen by a lot more, friends, family of the players, onlookers. And yeah, they may not see all the tiny names, but people will take pictures of this stuff. So you get to be sort of immortalized and a part of whatever this event turns into. And I think it's going to be really nice. So basically, if you just vote how much you think the auction will be, how much the auction for the boards themselves will be, which is happening in July and August, which is why we want to get these votes in now before the board is shipped to the United States. Then you get to go into a random drawing. I'll select everything from the comments of that particular video that has a dollar amount on it, and then I will contact the folks. That's why I kind of want to get these votes in by June 29th so I can have time to reach out to you, contact you for your information that you want to have put on the stone. Usually it's just name and location in the world, like a city and a country, something like that. But you can use screen name or something that you're more known by, whatever. It doesn't have to be your real official name. It's up to you. I used Rule 0 on the stone that I bought through the GoFundMe. So I was going to highlight these things, but I figured this is small. We'll just, before we jump into looking at some sweet cardboard, I'll just put a reminder up, and then I'll probably put community reminders up every once in a while between here and there, just to make sure everybody gets a chance to get this kind of cool. You get to be on a literal sorcery relic. I think it's really neat. I know not everybody does. That's okay. But it's free, right? And so if you're into it, yeah, I'd love to see your name up on the stone itself. So other things we want to talk about in brief. I'm going to do a small shipping and selling kind of talk because we've got some really funny packages to go through. Some are fantastic. Some are no fault of the seller. Were totally decimated in a who knows what happened in the machines of the post office service. And some were just came looking like Godzilla attacked them. So we have a really funny collection of envelopes to go through today. Thankfully, none of the cards were damaged. I've gone through them already to make sure I could rate the transaction on TCG Player and let the sellers know that they arrived. But so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how I ship cards of small amounts and larger amounts. And I want to give a brief tutorial of how I package them, because someone asked about that in a last video, well, how do you do it? And I'm not saying I'm perfect in the way I do it. And we'll probably talk about there have been some issues recently with the Postal Service and how they ship things that are really it's really tough to say across the board, especially in the United States right now, that every single postal area or postal carrier will do things the same, and it makes things a little tricky. So we'll listen in for that. I'll talk about, just very briefly, it, you know, I hate to ruin the morning with any kind of troll speak, but I just want to get y'all's opinion on how you feel about Reddit. Not in general, maybe, but just the sorcery Reddit, magic Reddit, if you're a part of that. I've got some thoughts. And then finally, as you see in a lot of these cards that we're going to open up today, we're going to have a lot of pieces to the new deck tech I'm going to be releasing at the end of the week. I guess I should have mentioned this is probably a little bit like a bonus episode, because I released the video on Tuesday, but it was really more about like, hey, get in on this contest kind of thing. Yes, I was highlighting something I thought was neat in the community, but I don't know. I just feel this little piece of me that's like, I should release 2 episodes a week that are for like sorcery players, for everybody that's a sorcery player, not necessarily just for a niche population that wants to, participate in this really cool thing. But anyways, we're probably going to have 3 episodes this week if I can pull it off. So hopefully this episode comes out Wednesday morning here, and then we'll expect another episode maybe Friday morning. So that'll be sweet. So without further ado, let me drink some coffee. I hope that's some ASMR for you. Whew, it is really early this morning. So this is one of the envelopes that's really funny to me. This comes from Leighton Gaming. If you see him on TCG Player, the card was okay, but clearly this thing has seen some things. This envelope's just like like it went through a machine. And I think machining is something that happens if you just kind of drop your envelopes off at just your blue boxes. You leave them in your mailbox. Like, everything's going to get machined. Typically, things with hard cases will bend a little bit in the machine, and it's not a problem. But sometimes envelopes get jammed, especially the longer envelopes. They tend to get a little jammed or caught up in a machine sometimes. And I'm guessing that's what happened here. And this is the traditional way to send TCG cards. But yeah, we'll get into it when we talk about the postal service and the weird changes that are happening. But let's see what we got. Whew. Okay, nice. Orb of Balbareth. Hope y'all can see that well. Oh, and the camera's now shaking because it's a really hilarious setup. I still don't have the arm I'm looking for on my desk. I had to order it online. It's not arrived yet. But maybe for the next video it'll be here. The camera's shaking because it's literally a camera tripod with a broomstick attachment, fiber tape that's used as like to dangle the camera down, and so it's just kind of free floating and hovering above the desk. But if I shift around a whole bunch, then it shakes. It's such a stupid looking outfit. We can't wait to be more professional and have a nice arm. Rift Valley, heck of a card, does really cool things. This will be in the deck tech that we're going to talk about. And then Orb of Balbareth. The first time each turn a magic spell is cast nearby, Orb of Balbareth creates a copy. That spell's controller may choose new targets. I mean, and the flavor of text is the ineffable conveyed ineffably. It's really small print on the bottom, but for 5 mana, it seems kind of expensive to get off. But in casual games, I bet this is pretty fun. I think you're just copying spells. I believe minions count as spells, right? They're part of your spell book. So you just copy minions, enchantments, doesn't matter what kind of spell. You tell me in the comments below, because I'm not 100% sure. So these cards came in, and we got to get this mailbag episode done because I really, really want to play a lot of these cards in my decks. And I've been holding off for a little bit. Well, we got a critical mass of envelopes to come in. But these are going to be sweet. Thanks, Leighton Gaming, for sending them. Even if you have no control of your machines in Orlando. Okay, should we hit this is one of the big money ones. This one's funny. So I received this in the mail. We care. Dear postal customer, we sincerely regret the damage to your mail during the handling by the Postal Service. We hope this incident did not inconvenience you. We realize your mail is important to you and that you have every right to expect it to be delivered in good condition. Please accept our sincerest apologies. Your postmaster. Oh, and so I have a plastic bag. And I was like, what the hell has happened? This is how it came in the mailbox. So I don't know where this came from. I think it might be Glastonbury, Connecticut. I'm not really sure. Through way of Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah. So it was just ripped. I think it got caught in a machine or something. I don't think it was intentionally ripped like this. It just looks so jagged, And I just think it just got torn. And so thankfully, the card was on this side, That's what I'm saying with these long envelopes, man. Sometimes they get caught. So shockingly, the card was still in here. It's just absolutely. Oh, that came from earlier. That's mine, Western Carolina. So this is how it was packed. So thankfully, on this side, just missed the old the package here. And this TCG Guardian or TC Guardian cases. Do you like these or not? I haven't used the paper cases before, but I hear people enjoy them. So maybe we'll talk about pros and cons in a moment. Gargantula, really cool card. I have not had any Gargantulas pulled in any of my boxes, so I had to order them. An Elite Beast and a Mother of Hunger for 4 mana, 3 Earth Threshold. Really tough to play in multicolored decks, but I'm going to do it anyway. You can't tell me what to do. 4 power. Genesis Gargantula may drag an adjacent minion here, disabling it in a cocoon until a unit at its location taps to free it. So one of their minions has to come over and try to face off with Gargantula to release one of their friends. I just love the flavor of this card. The card's very powerful. It sees a lot of competitive play if you're new to Sorcery. Just being able to Genesis is your ETB ability and drag a minion from another site and disable it, really powerful. And it being a 4-power minion makes it tough to tangle with. So anyways, I just really wanted to share that. It's like the adventures in receiving singles. I've received all my singles. So thankfully, despite all odds, everything's come in. So we'll have some more low-key stuff, and then we'll have a package coming up here, which I just adored. And we're going to end on one that I think is it's a seller who, went above and beyond. All right, we've got this one from Denver, Colorado. Beautiful Colorado stamp there. Woo. Did it open from this side or this side? I don't remember. I cut both sides. I think it was stuck because of tape. There we go. So the card didn't have any TCG player invoice in that. Typically I like to have those, but Smoots Inc. here. Yeah, thanks Smoots. Sent me a Gargantula. It's kind of a flexi hard case, smaller envelope. Maybe it prevents some of the machining errors that happen sometimes. So that's a strategy you can use. But we finally have our second. Heck yeah. These are going to go directly into the deck that I'm building. Not the orb here. The orb was just for fun. But these will be going into the deck that I'm going to be talking about on Friday. And I think I want to do the deck tech with more depth. I wrote that here because I recently got a question about King of the Realm from a commenter. And they were like, well, I'm new to Sorcery. Why would you use the King of the Realm in this way? You don't have a lot of mortals in your deck. Is it just to pump or steal the mortals of others? And so it made me think overall. And, I answered that question, and it was a good question. But it made me think overall, let's do a deck tech where I just kind of go over the strategies of individual cards a little more clearly. I mean, we don't have to make it an hour long, although would people enjoy something so in depth with a deck of literally talking about these are how I play my first 4 steps. These are how, what each card does in different situations. I don't know, but I want some of that because a lot of deck techs just show you the cards and then you're left up to your imagination. So we'll try to pepper in a little bit, see how it goes. See if people respond. All right, was this it? Or was this it? No, I think this one was it. Okay, so we'll leave that one last. I was trying to think of the one that I want to end on. We got the Void Exchange here. Let me make sure. Oh, okay. No, that's the one we want to end on right there. It's cool. I had a little handwritten note in there. That was my sign. Okay, so this comes from Jester Games LLC. They tend to ship things like I do. This is like a TCG player invoice. They always give the address of the buyer. You cut it out and you can just kind of tape it right on the envelope so that you don't make mistakes in sending to a wrong place. But I have seen buyers that put an address that's like crazy. Like it'll have their address line twice, one in lowercase. It's like, people don't enter things always correctly, so you want to double check. What did I get here from Jester Games? Another one of these folks that use these sort of these paper shipping shields. These are very popular. They may cost less than hard cases overall. I don't know if they offer the same level of protection, but hey, we got our cards safe and sound. And I think typically, 99.9% of the time, you get all your cards safe and sound, but not always. So we got our Earthquake here. You may rearrange sites within a 2x2 area, carrying along everything of normal size, then burrow all minions and artifacts on those sites. Extremely powerful spell for 5 mana. Yeah, I love my Earth, don't I? So we've got Conqueror War. I mean, it's got Dan Seagrave art. It's stunning. I just love the colors. And you've got this worm that's just like, nah, this is my territory, boss. 8 mana, 8 power. Doesn't have any kind of submerge or burrowing. It'd probably be a lot better if it did. If it had burrowing, this thing would be crazy. But at the end of your turn, if no enemy units occupy this site, permanently gain control of it. Yeah, this goes for the Imminent Domain deck tech that I put out. Just being able to take somebody's site. Now this is mine. I just love the idea of that. So it's big and dumb, and I don't have an Archangel Michael, right? And that's a very good card. It sees a lot of play. It costs $100. I can't afford to buy that right now, but maybe this just sees it's in my deck now just to fill that slot until I can. All right. So we've got, maybe we'll do a little bit of how do I ship cards real quick. We'll do a brief sort of tutorial for the folks that are interested. It won't last long for the folks that aren't, okay? All right. Let's imagine I go on TCG Player. I'm a level 4 seller on there right now. I think that means I've sold over 100 cards and they have, 100% feedback that's good. Somebody comes in, they're like, I want to buy a squeaker, but I want to buy the biggest squeaker of all, and I want them to be the shiniest squeaker of all squeakers. And I'm like, heck yeah. All right, that's $5. So how do I how do I pack this up? Well, I have hard cases. I have hard cases that people literally just sent me, or I buy some new hard cases that, just in case I don't have ones that were shipped to me. First thing I do is I put it in a sleeve, regular old sleeve. I typically have a whole box of just extra stuff. This is just packing materials, old sleeves, things like that I am okay. I just keep it in a space where I can grab it with the rest of my shipping supplies. I want to have this thing protected. I don't want it to get damaged in any way. So I put the giant squeaker in the case upside down, because sometimes you'll see people tape either with painter's tape or some other kind of tape. They will, and I do this too, but take off a piece of tape and they'll cover this in because you don't want it sliding out. Now, what I do is I put it on the bottom here, and then I make a tab. The pull tab is extremely important. The pull tab is something where you can seal it with tape on this side, but now you have this little pull tab that the buyer can use to just quickly and easily pull this off and not have to cut into the case. See? When they pull this off, it won't be you can easily kind of get it off like that. And you don't have to cut, because you don't want to cut, bring knives around awesome cardboard. Then from that point, what I do you're going to get a TCG Player invoice. It shows all the stuff. You print it out on a sheet of paper. I don't have one here because, I'm not going to dox somebody else or myself. But typically at the bottom, I'll just write a nice little note because, I don't know, just feels like it adds a little flavor to me. A nice little thank you, maybe a smiley face, maybe some kind of comment on the card. Squeak. Squeaker Nation, stand up. There we go. Who knows? So then I'll put that in there just so they have a little surprise when they open this up. And I'll use tape to go ahead and make sure this card doesn't really shift around. Then I'll fold the invoice into what can fit into a regular old envelope. And now this card is secure. It's easy to get into. And I'll just use a regular old envelope, slide it in, seal it up so it fits kind of firmly and flat. And all you need, now this is where things get a little complicated sometimes, but we'll talk about that in a moment. All you typically need is to have a single forever stamp. And if your post office is cool, they'll have like some styling forever stamps that you can use, like these D&D ones. Place it here, place the TCG Player. They give you the little printout here. You can cut it out, place the address here. And then typically if you have some of these made, they're very cheap to make. It's nice, and it saves a little time of you writing things, which is nice. You don't want to spend, extra minutes just constantly having to write into the envelope. And then pop it in the mailbox. Everything gets machined in the post office, except for like big packages, okay? I know people say like don't machine stuff like that on their envelopes. No post office listens to that, but most machines don't damage cards. Very few do. We had one that clearly like could have been damaged or risked damage, but even it didn't get destroyed with just a paper case inside. So I've never had issues with cards being damaged upon arrival. And like I said, I've sent out at least 100 in TCG Player and like another 200 things through eBay. So this should be fine. But I think there's a case being made these days in seller circles of using these smaller, they're number 6 envelopes, whereas these I think are number 10. You might have to check and make sure that I'm right on that, but I believe those are the numbers where this doesn't get caught in machines as much. So there's an argument to be made there, but those are a lot harder to find. You might have to order them, whereas these you can get at your local post office, no problem, and or even at Walmart or something. So basically, on TCG Player, you want to set your shipping for whatever's comfortable for you, but the cost of a forever stamp plus an envelope plus a hard case, plus like little small things like tape. And I'll ship this off. Should get there in like 4 to 5 days to a week tops. And the seller's happy. They get it, they receive it, they rate the transaction, and boom, we get our money from TCG Player. Sans the fee. And the fees can eat into your prices. Like if you sell things that are less than $5, it does become a little iffy if it's worth it or not. So if you sell things through TCG Player, last thing I'll note, and then I'll clean up a little bit here, is that if you sell things through TCG Player that are more expensive, like I just sent out, right now we're just going to look at this package I'm sending out right now. I've covered up the information, but I'm sending out a package that has a foil Merlin's Tower in it. I just sold this, so it's much more expensive than just your regular $5. If the order is above $20, TCG Player, quote unquote, recommends that you send it with tracking. The only thing is, in order to get tracking, the only way you can really do that, in the United States at least, is to get what's called USPS Ground Advantage. And that costs you about $5.50 to $5.65, something like that. And you cannot use this stuff on regular envelopes. You have to use it on a bigger package. You can use it here, but it will often get sent back or rejected, or sometimes it just gets lost, literally, in the mail. The good thing about Ground Advantage is that it does have insurance. It has $100 of insurance that comes already prepackaged. I've had 2 cards lost in the mail over about like 20 years of sending cards out, and both of them were easily handled by like showing. I just uploaded some documents to file a claim, and USPS Ground Advantage covered it up to $100, and they often like go to the maximum. So like sometimes I've been like, oh, I'm out $50 because of X card, and then they'll send me a $55 check in the mail to cover the postal charge as well. So I've never been sad about the U.S. Postal Service handling errors, even though clearly there have been some errors. I think they've done a good job, and I want to support that we have a free public postal service. You know, I think it's a necessary thing to have in a country that's civilized. So I would hate it if it was all privatized, to be honest, because I think they do a good job. But anyway, we don't need to go down that road. You may have different thoughts, and I don't want to poo-poo on your thoughts. But anyways, for a bigger package, TCG Player, for any order that's $50 or more, they literally require that you have tracking, thank goodness. And so this is nice because on TCG Player, you'll just enter the tracking number. If I sell something for $50-$60, which this Foil Wizards Merlin's Tower was, I'm more than happy to pay the $5 to ship. But that's something you should know, right? Not only are you getting a little bit of TCG Player fees taken out, you're also getting $5 for shipping, and you're also having to buy a bigger envelope, which I buy in bulk, bubble mailers. There are smaller bubble mailers, which may be something I want to look into, but these have worked just fine. And typically I package with like a little extra firm piece of cardboard or something. Same kind of hard case and everything like that, but like the invoice is used to kind of wrap up and protect, and then taped on the inside of 2 pieces of cardboard, and that kind of keeps this solid and safe. So anyways, that's a little journey into how I ship cards. If you have different methods, let me know. Let's go ahead and look at some more packages. This is from D's TCG. Nub Nub Collectibles. I love Nub Nubs. Yub Nubs? Is that what that is? And we have these sweet shell mailers. I've seen these before. I'm not sure how much these cost, but what they come with is a little strip that you can pull off. So that's satisfying for sure. And then 2 awesome sweet cards. We have Boulevard of Bones. Yes, let's take a look at these. So they have little tabs here, and I get these are kind of mass produced. It's fine. Personally, I just don't love things that I don't have a pull tab on. I'm like, all right, well now I need to, because yeah, getting this off, a little bit of pain. It's not too bad, but yeah, I don't know. It's not a big inconvenience. I should just be okay with it, but we're talking about the minutia of shipping. I would prefer if there was a little pull tab where I could just easily kind of flip it up and not have to dig at it with a fingernail or a knife. So we've got Boulevard of Bones. Let's talk about this card. This card is nuts. And I don't think it saw a lot of play in the past, but it's definitely seeing more play now. And it's going to be in my deck tech. So we won't talk too much about it. But we've got, whenever another site is played to an adjacent square, summon a skeleton token there. And it makes Earth Threshold. A lot of times sites that do some cool effect, they may not actually have a threshold with them. This one does. And it's got this sweet skeleton sky hovering over the boulevard. And it's an elite site, so you can use 2. So just free skeleton tokens. Who doesn't love that? In a site that plays a lot of lands, you want to put this out there in the middle. We'll talk about strategies in another video, but Boulevard of Bones is going into the new deck, so I'm excited about that one. All right, and finally, a seller that has gone above and beyond. I guess first we'll share Reddit cringe guy very briefly. So my most recent video about Cristiano Caetano's Magic board, and not Magic game board, but like not Magic the Gathering board, but just really cool creation. I posted that on Reddit. I wanted it to get some traction. I'm always a little hesitant to post on Reddit. Any video that gets posted there, whether it's me or other creators, there's inevitably some folks who are just having a bad day or feel like they don't like advertising. They want to be advertised to. They'll look at 100 Reddit posts of somebody pulling a cool card, which to me is like fairly boring. No offense, but the first time they see a video, they respond with like, "This is cringe, get it out of here." And it's like they try to literally get the pitchforks out and start to like, "Come on, guys, let's let's run these monsters out of town. They're trying to show videos that they made." Ah, and it's just hilarious to me. Like, what are you doing? So I engaged with guy who called my video cringe and said this needs to get out of here, and this something like this has no place here. Maybe I'll try to find a clip and post it. And I'm like, okay, like I'm trying to offer you the ability to have your name immortalized in stone, um, you know, fake stone, but like stone nonetheless, at a giant sorcery tournament. Like I'm literally giving you the opportunity to do that for free. You have like you only would have to like mention a dollar amount in my video, and even if you don't want to do that, why take the time to like start a thing? Maybe because you don't have enough time, you know. I don't know, or maybe you don't have enough to do with your time. Either way, I'm just curious. How do you guys feel about Reddit? Because I don't know if there's an advantage in posting there or not. See, I posted another video there recently. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been the one about the like, should avatars have faces? Boy, that was kind of like, I knew that was going to draw a little bit of fire. I wasn't naive. Um, and Reddit comments were not great, but what I noticed at the same time was the Reddit comments being like pretty ornery, was that my subscriber count rose by like 15 people. So on the one hand, it's really painful to post on Reddit because the people who are talking are typically angry about whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. And this is just my experience. Like I've posted things on Reddit before that were like generally well received, and yeah, people weren't angry. Like I posted the first games we did of Sorcery image there, and people were like overjoyed. And I think I had a false sense of like, oh man, this is like the strangest thing in the world. A Reddit community is like not frothing at the mouth about something. Like they're all just receiving this very positively. And so I think for new players, they're super kind, but like now they're like a little more jaded, and they're like, I've only posted 2 or 3 videos there because I'm like, only if I really feel it needs to get some kind of traction will I post there, or if I want genuine opinions. And you know, to be fair, even angry opinions, they're genuine. So you know, it's just painful to read, that's all. It's like they're not even typically like, the ones that are the most vitriolic are not very thought out. You know, it's not like they're giving an honest critique. It's more of just like yelling. Like there was literally another person, might have been the same guy, who's, by the way, his username was like, and I don't mind, whatever. You deserve it, dude. His username is literally like ingrown toenail. So like his whole life is just him being painful pain in the butt. And he knows it. So I guess he owned it, right? It's like that guy who was Thrun the Last Troll trolling one of my videos before. I guess own it, you know? But anyway, I don't know. I want Reddit to be better. I have this hope that I'm like, you know, if you don't like it, just pass by. You don't have to comment on everything in the world, especially if you like only want to tear it down. Particularly, like, I'm not even trying to sell you anything. I'm just literally trying to offer you the opportunity to be part of something that's like going to be just, you know, receive a lot of praise and like eyeballs. And yeah, you get to be like mini famous in sorcery world, just having your name on this sweet project. Anyway, it's supposed to be a chill morning. Gonna get my Zen mode, get some more coffee here, and then we'll open up this really awesome package that from an incredible person who I want to shout out from old Scottsdale, Arizona here. Void Exchange. If you're out there and you're watching this video, this made my day, and I want to make y'all's day too. Very rarely, when you go through TCG Player, do you get something that's like a handwritten note, literally addressed to me, like my name. Hi, Sean. Thank you so much for your purchase. I'm so happy to see Sorcery growing, so I'm also including a copy of Fertile Earth to Earth Threshold to keep both Stefania and Earthquake covered threshold-wise. Smiley face. Key at the Void Exchange. I think that's Key or Ken. I'm not really sure. Either way, I mean, what a seller. And somebody that came from Magic, right? They have Magic sleeves. It's always a dead giveaway. But this person, true to their word, just like, I will never turn down another double threshold land. And these are like fairly inexpensive, right? These are like 75 cents. But the thought and the effort put in, I'm overblown by it. I'm blown over by it, I guess is the right phrase. And thank you so much for like that extra gift. And I want to shout that out. So if you see the Void Exchange on TCG Player, give them some love. This is the kind of thing, I think it's free advertising for them because I think it's really cool. And the last cards we got were Sister Stefania, Unique Mortal, who has seen it all. I wish it was like has seen some things. Ward, other nearby minions are silenced. So 2 mana, 2 power, but has an effect where they can like reduce the abilities of all other minions nearby, and I love that. And then we finally get our other Earthquake as well. Elite Magic, Violent Upheaval. So I can't wait to share the new deck with you. It's not mono Earth, surprisingly, but I just was missing so many key Earth cards. Like I didn't get any Earthquakes out of boxes, no Gargantulas out of boxes. I didn't get any Boulevards of Bones. Rift Valley I've had to like, I think I traded for one and then bought this one. So it's finally coming together, and I'm excited to share it with you. And thank you so much, Void Exchange, for the extra sweet little prize on the end. People in the Sorcery community, I think we love this game growing. I love this game growing. So, if you have any thoughts about what you've seen here today, let me know in the comments. Let's have just a talk. I'm happy to shoot the breeze with all y'all. Thank you again for watching. And keep contesting the realm.